Hello, hello. Welcome back to our show, Tackling Debt with Emelike Ukpabi. And today we have a very special guest. It's a very important one. We're going to be talking about Black Canadian youth and debt. You know, how it starts, the systemic issues behind it, and most importantly, how we can prevent it, which is what our show is all about. But before we dive in, I just want to highlight our $1 billion debt challenge. And in a nutshell, it's just to reduce the debt of Black Canadians to the tune of $1 billion. And the purpose of that is to ensure that Black Canadians are empowered, more money to save, invest, and contribute even more to Canada's growth. Um, if I always use this example, if 100,000 families or individuals, Black people in Canada, reduce their debt by $10,000, we hit our target. You know, what we discuss here, the topics we discuss here, are not rocket science. It's well, just it's more of experience and what we've gone through ourselves. If you need financial advice, we can always refer you to financial professionals who can provide that advice. And you can always track your progress weekly, daily, monthly. Every small step counts. Okay, so let's dive into today's show. Can you please introduce yourself, sir, and tell us about your role at Why Not Services?
Thank you, Emelike. Actually, before I do that, I want to thank you for thinking this way, very
Okay.
positive way. Eradicating debt or lowering debt in Black communities.
Thank you so
I
much.
mean, it means a lot. It's thinking outside the box to be able to see that this could be addressed, and it's a societal problem. And I think
Cheers.
bringing the education in our community is very, very important.
Okay.
I haven't said that. My name is Pastor Francis Ubah. I'm the Executive Director of Youth and On-Track Services. Why not? Why not is a community and non-for-profit or charitable organization that have been serving our community for the past 19 years.
For the past 19 years,
Yes.
wow, that's a lot of impact.
Yes.
On the Black community. You must have influenced lots of youths over these last 19 years.
Of
Well
course.
done, sir. Well done.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, what inspired you to get into youth work?
Uh, that's a very good question. When I came to Canada, I was a pastor in Nigeria, still a pastor here.
Mm-hmm.
And in Nigeria, I work with a lot of young people. And then when I came here, and I live in this neighborhood, Black Creek community.
Okay.
So it has its own share of Black people too, and young, especially Black kids.
Okay.
So most of them are not what my expectation when I was coming to Canada. And my expectation is to see a different, decent people doing very well, well focused, either in school or businesses. But when I saw here, it was somehow opposite of my expectation.
Okay.
And I see where I can contribute. I see the area that I can help to make it, bring meaning and impact their lives, bring changes. So I didn't wait to jump into it.
Okay, that's fantastic. So, what kind of youth do you primarily serve?
I would say we serve basically Black youth. I would say Black youth is 90% of the people we support and serve in the community.
Okay.
And that does not mean that we only serve Black kids.
Yeah,
We serve
it's
other,
open to all, but,
to all.
but the focus is on
Many
the
Black
community, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah, and from your experience working directly with this young Black youth, you get to see realities that a lot of people don't talk about.
Of course.
So let's talk about that. You know, when you think about the youth you work with, what are the earliest signs or entry points into debt that you see?
I would say the entry point is when young people start to get involved with credit cards and the OSAP, the loans, either OSAP or loans or borrow money here and there. To me, is the beginning point of it. And most of it, if I would say, are not seeing the consequences of doing this. They see it as part of life, and they gradually and steadily it lure them into long-time debt.
Okay. So, having dealt with this youth, what are the specific patterns you've noticed that, like, how much of this is influenced by family financial situations or lack of access to financial education?
As a matter of fact, this is a societal problem, and I see it over and over. And as a youth worker in the community, I begin to look into some of the some of these issues. One thing I come across, allow me to pick this paper.
Okay.
I was having a training with the young people as it relates to this particular issue.
Okay.
So one of the things that came to me was what I found in Jewish community. And it says here, financial literacy in Jewish community is, number one, values driven. Values driven. That's number one. Two, started early.
Okay.
And number three, reinforced at home, school, and the community. Then number four, focused on ethics, responsibility, and long-term stability. And these are some of the key things when it has to do with debt and financial literacy. So the Jewish one is values driven. It based on their values. And number two, as I started earlier, all the above, you can't find it in our community. You can see it in black community.
And why is that though?
To me, I went further to look at this. Let me give you an instance here again. It says a key distinguishing features in intergenerational planning. This is still in Jewish community. And what they said here, teaching inheritance, planning, and the legacy thinking. So legacy thinking, planning, and thinking.
Okay.
So this is not often in our community. Then number two, encouraging investment in education and in skills. Encouraging investment in education and in skills. And number three, avoiding reckless consumption.
Okay.
Avoiding reckless consumption. So there is a saying that black people are the biggest consumer of food. I don't have any proof for this, but again, to me, it sounds like reality. I don't know much about it.
Okay.
And also preparing children to manage wealth responsibly rather than simply inherit it. So they have a long time thinking and planning over it. And as years pass by, their children grow with these values. And that value is the thing that kept them, and you can see it in our own community.
Okay. So basically what you talked about is like a cultural expectation. That's their cultural expectation, right?
Yes, it's not just cultural. So when you go to those of us that involved in things of God or Christianity, so they are in the Torah, which is the Old Testament.
Okay.
So it's inculcated in their religion, in their practices and preaching.
Okay.
Financial literacy, how to spend their money, how to make their money, and how to build intergenerational wealth. But you can't find this in our teaching.
Well, I mean, in the black community, most of us are Christians, right?
Of course.
And we deal with the Bible, we deal with the New Testament, we deal with the Old Testament. And those things are also, like you talked about the Torah for these people, right?
Yes.
It's also in it. So how come we don't leverage it? Why don't we go in,
We don't, because, it goes in two ways here. So I don't think that we focus on when we thought about building wealth. when white people came to us, they came with a gift, either use clothes or this or that. And then we thought about manna. So people thought that anything can come, you can get it anyhow.
Okay.
So we don't have principles in which we do it. We don't have real foundational teaching that has to do with finances, how to manage it, how to make it. But in Jewish community, those teachings are there. It's part of their fundamental teaching and practices.
Interesting, very interesting. I mean, one of the cultural issues we have that I've noticed among our black communities, stigma around money conversations.
Okay.
Almost never happens. You know, like a father or a mother or parents and their kids sitting down and having a conversation about money.
Okay.
Well, I concentrate on debt, but that's the foundation for building wealth, right?
I'll give you a scenario here. When you see, let's say, let me use white people for instance. So they will sit around the table and discuss billions. So nobody will hit the table, neither hit the wall. But in our culture has conflict and cultural conflict in money. So where we can sit together and discuss money without having crisis. We have conflict of culture when it has to do with money.
When it has to do with money.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then we always fight, even $5, 1 second, even one cent is enough for us to fight over.
Okay.
Without having mutual understanding.
Yes.
I had to address the issue that has to do with money because we lack the fundamental training and education and skills to manage money.
Oh, I see. Okay. Now, let's talk a little bit about social media, right? Which is something that has increased in the last couple of years, right?
Yes.
So, how does that impact or influence youth when it comes to debt?
Yes, I know. When you thought about social media, you thought about Facebook, you thought about TikTok, Instagram, and so on and so forth. So, to me, social media has its own advantage, as you know.
Yeah, okay.
Anything that has an advantage has its own disadvantage.
Yeah.
And I will tell you that it influences most of our young people negatively. So, I just discussed with you, most of the young people we have in the program, even the school, the reports we get is just like this. And most of them, actually, let me give you this story. I was talking to a group of younger people, and then most of them wants to be, what do they call it, influencer. And they haven't finished their education. But somebody in the social media was telling them what to do. And a group of other people said they want to be a YouTuber. And this YouTuber, I tried to find out a little more about him. He is a psychologist, but he hid his educational accomplishment and presented himself as a dropout from school. And most of these young people are following this guy and they want to be a YouTuber without understanding that this is a psychologist, and
really?
he's using their brain.
Wow.
And they thought that he's a dropout from school. And I said, oh, yes, he's a dropout from school. He can, if he can do this, they can do it better. And they're no longer even willing to continue to go to school. These are some of the negative influences they can get from social media when it has to do with our kids.
Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, also competition, right?
Yes.
Envy, and people see things on social media and they think that's reality, right?
Of course.
Pressure to keep up with the Joneses, right?
You know what? I was talking to a friend in Nigeria. Then he said to me, "Can I send him my picture?" I said, "The way you see me, that's my picture." He said there are people that have younger took pictures when they were very much younger, and that's what they presented the whole world to see them and believe they are such young people, but they are not. So there's a lot of negativities there that so many to deceive people.
Yes. So I know that debt, impacts mental health, even for youths, black youths, all this stress, anxiety, shame, homelessness, education, dropping out of education. I mean, talk to me a little bit about what happens when young people fall into debt early.
Um, the Let me give you this scenario again. I've been working with young people for the past 19 years,
Okay.
and most of them start getting their job at the age of 15 years old.
15. Okay,
Yes,
yeah.
officially in Canada, you are
Yeah,
entitled to
about
work
15
for
years.
15 years.
Yeah.
And then we do hire good number of them because we do have a match break camp, and one of the condition is to have young people, to train them, give them skills, employ them, give them that experience, and prepare them with resumes, because
Okay.
when they work with us, then they move forward from there.
Mm.
And also that gives them the opportunity to make some money. Most of them, when they got the employment and got the money between that 2 months, they may make up to 5,000 or 4,000 or 6,000 within that 2 months, and they thought that they have arrived, they have money, forgetting that it's annual job, it will not continue after that. And most of them tends to get into all kinds of, even buying cars, learning things they can't be able to deal with. The aftermath of it is developing stress and anxiety because they could not continue. The money is not there. And you can see that the number of young people that are dealing with mental health is every day going high in our community.
Yeah.
So they don't know how to pay. And not only that they can't be able to pay, they got themselves into different types of lives because the money came. Some of them get into drug, some of them get into all kinds of behavior because they got money within that space of time.
Expensive behaviors.
And expensive behaviors. And then when they could not continue, because when you talk about mental health, it has fundamental causes, or the root cause. Some of them probably they're taking drug or whatever, some other kind. Those expensive behavior that got themselves into won't continue because they do not have that money. It lured them into owing other people, even they're supposed not to own. It lured them into buying things they can't be able to sustain. And all this is part of mental health. Some of them drop out from school. Some of them drop out even from their homes because they can't continue, or for one reason or the other. So actually, as I said, it's a societal problem.
It is a societal problem. Okay, now let's shift into solutions, which is what this show is all about.
Yes.
It's how to solve the problem, how to, So from your perspective, what are the most effective ways to prevent youth from falling into debt in the first place?
It is a good program. I mean, it's a good question.
Yeah.
To me, every child is a replica of their family.
Okay.
So, financial literacy is very, very important. If I will borrow from the teachings or from the practices from the Jewish community. If I go through these scripts I have, they talk about sitting together at the dining table, talking about money, how to manage money, how to make money, how to spend money, and the value and the power of money. All these things, you can't find it in our community. And most of the parents, for the fact that they lack that financial education, they spend extravagantly. And most of the kids tends to learn from their parents, and they practice what they learn. So how do we address this? Number one, to me, as I said, it's a societal problem. And we as people, we see it as a problem, that debt is a problem. And when you don't see it as a problem, you won't see the need to address it. We got to accept it as a reality, that when we are owing and owing, it does not help us as people to grow. I will tell you, before now, when I came to Canada newly, I was involved when they call me here. I will order for that one. They will call me the other side, and sometimes then the bill started coming, and at a stage I have a phobia of opening my envelopes because when I open it, it's either this deep bill or the other bill or the other bill, and it took courage and it took people talking to me to say, Francis, you can be able to address this issue. And I faced it directly. I started paying off.
Okay.
So when you allow it to linger, and then it become more serious problems to deal with. So number one, as I said, number two, we as people will see it as a problem, that it won't help us. And the families also got to see it. And that financial literacy is very, very important. And if you can learn from what is happening in the larger community, it will help us as people.
Okay, that's fantastic. I mean, you covered, preventing youth, from falling into debt early. You also talked about what parents should be.
They have a lot of part to play.
Yes. Again, when we think about all the problems being faced in the Black community, how can we normalize? I know you talked about, the Torah. What else can we do to normalize money conversations with youth, with our children, with, in the community?
It's a very good question. As people, we got to believe that money has power of its own.
Okay.
And when most of the people here see us as economic refugees, and seeing us as economic refugees does not help us.
Well, that's interesting.
As people. So, and I have had a lot of discussion in the community. I will tell you one thing. There is an article written by Toronto Star, and the Toronto Star said that most of the Black people that came here, that we all faced non-for-profit businesses instead of getting into actual businesses. It's not that we don't have the education or we do not have the skills to get into businesses and do very well, but somehow we chose to either non-for-profit NGOs or to church non-for-profit. And when you look at the church, I'm a pastor. I believe in God, and I believe in the teachings of the Bible. It's real, and there is God real. But most of us do not bring the wisdom, as Bible said. It said that the wisdom is the principal thing. It said, in all you're getting, get understanding. So what I want to address here, most of these churches, we have churches all over the place. One day I was counting from Highway 27 to this place, able to count over 200 churches. And then we are using properties, where properties owned by the Jewish people, the Italians, and this time the Indian people. And then what we achieve doing is we have 10 people in a place, and then we convince them to pay tithes and offering. And this money is going to the Jewish landlord who owns the property. It's taken from the poor people, very vulnerable people, and giving to the rich landlord. So, and it's prevalence in our community. So how do we address this? In the Jewish book, they thought about the money circulate over 10 times in their community before it goes outside the community.
Outside the community.
But this time it comes first and it goes to other community. So we got to find a way as people. How do we return the money? How do we make money? Understanding the strength of money.
Interesting.
And getting involved in businesses. And they taught our children about businesses.
That's interesting. So it's
getting involved into the system, because there's money in this part of the world.
You're not just non-for-profit.
Not just non-for-profit.
Real business.
Real businesses.
Making money.
And understanding the power of money.
Okay.
Understanding that money itself is a force. to reckon with. So it's a conversation that I will encourage you that we can come together as people
and have that conversation.
have that big conversation.
Yeah, we'll have to talk about it. You know,
I have to discuss about it.
Yeah,
for our
focusing
children
on
to
money.
come.
Yes.
Now I give you this staggering statistics. There are up to 75% of black kids that are on welfare. Not that they can do better, but this is opposite in other communities. So why do we have this high level or this number of
people who are on welfare? Yeah.
Then I understand there are some systemic issues. There are stigma, discrimination that are attached to this. But as people, we can be able to move forward. And having plans, we don't do well because we don't plan to do well. If you plan to do well, you will do well.
Like you talk about debt,
yes. If you don't plan
to tackle it, right?
You can't be able to do it.
Then if you're not intentional about doing it, then
you must be intentional towards that in order to avoid it.
Yes.
And to break the vicious circle from generation to generation.
Of course, it just keeps rolling down,
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so in closing, right, what role do organizations like Why Not play in filling these gaps we talked about now?
Yes, one of the roles is what we're doing here today. Having time to discuss about it.
I'm happy to be part of it. Yes, go ahead.
Having time to discuss about it.
Yes.
And then furthering the education.
Okay.
Is, as I say, as people, when we begin to discuss about it, we have invited a couple of young people like you and others that are in financial business to come to talk to our kids in our program. Like right now, we are having our summer camp. We have over 82 young people there.
Okay.
So I invited you to come with a good news.
Sure.
At the same time, I do invite other people.
Okay.
Because that's a very good opportunity.
Yeah, for kids
to learn.
Yes.
And if there are people, this is so important to our community. I read yesterday that government stops giving us up to some other people here. And as time passes by, the OSAP will be adjusted, even the head will be adjusted, so many other things. It's going through process of change. And it will affect us as people.
Oh, yes.
And this is time for us to begin to talk about debt. And how do we build our own wealth?
How do we build wealth? How do we...
starting from our young people, starting from our children, how can they think differently from us? How can they build their own wealth? I think they can do it. God has blessed us with a lot of potentials.
100%
it's for us to activate it.
It's for us to embrace,
it.
Yes.
And this is what I always say to our young people. I'm very soon that I will hand over to you guys.
Yes.
We're looking for
what I mean? Future generation,
future generation that can do better. And sometimes,
the baton, right?
Sometimes I do say to them, listen, I came here at the age of 30. And this is how far God has led us. That supposedly I was born here. And you guys have a lot of opportunities. There is a very good opportunity in this part of the world.
Of course, fantastic.
I give you this story. I was invited to for a funeral service, and that happens in one of the funeral homes out there.
Okay.
And I end up in Highway 50 for the funeral actually. And I saw a good number of young people there. And you know what, I cried because I was saying, these are young people that are in a land of opportunities, but they don't want to use it.
Wow.
So, I mean, it pains my heart.
Yes.
It pains my heart. As I said before, there are systemic issues here, but we can do better.
We can do better.
Absolutely. We can do better than where we are right now.
We can do better.
And collectively, we will do better.
Of course.
I believe that so strongly that collectively we do better.
Yes.
people.
Yes.
Yes, we will do better.
We will
And with
do
people
better.
like you pushing out this type of education, because it's very, very important.
It is important.
It will impact so many lives, like what we do here. When I look back, many young people have
Fantastic job you have done, Pastor Francis.
Many young people have impacted, those in colleges, universities, those that have graduated and went through our program and services. We can do much as people.
Absolutely. Just to put this out there, I know Pastor Francis has been talking about the Bible and Christian principle. Just to let you know, he's also a pastor. He's a pastor, a man of God, right? So now, how can people connect with Why Not and support the work you're doing?
Thank you very much. You can go to our website, www.whynotservices.org.
Okay.
You can call us 647-427-42898. Then connect to us. There are a lot it will benefit. You can volunteer with us. 1 hour means a lot. 2 hours means a lot.
Okay.
You can donate to our program, as well as you can choose to support us in your own way. So it's for the community.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And for our community to make impact. And it doesn't matter how small, it can make a lot of difference. Your children can volunteer with us. And a lot of them that have volunteered with us are doing very well.
Oh, fantastic.
Yes, that's the key thing. So we have a very nice foundation led. And as you rightly said, that I talk of God, I strongly believe without God we wouldn't be here. And without him we wouldn't do what we're doing.
Absolutely, absolutely. So what's one message you want every young Black Canadian to hear when it comes to money and debt in closing? Just one message.
One message, I want us to believe that we can do it.
Okay.
So most of the times I look at the former president of America, Barack Obama. I always say that is the most intelligent Black man ever walked the earth. He said we can.
Yes, we can.
Yes, as people,
Okay.
we can overcome that.
Interesting. Yeah.
We can overcome the stigma. We can overcome the stereotype and the discrimination and become what God wants us to be.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, we've come to the end of the session, Pastor Francis. Thank you so much for the contributions.
Thank you so much for coming.
It's going to impact a lot of young people. Yeah, so at this point, we're bringing today's show to an end. But before we do that, I just want to make a heartfelt appeal. Are you struggling with debt, overwhelming debt? Are you drowning? You don't know who to talk to. You can't talk to family. You can't talk to friends because of shame, because of stigma. Please reach out to me today. You don't have to suffer in silence. You don't have to go through this. I can connect you to people who can help you without judgment. You can reach out to me through there's an email address, Emelike Ukpabi1 at gmail.com. And please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And if this inspired you, you can forward it to friends, family, associates, co-workers, and so on and so forth. Okay? So see you next time, and thanks so much for tuning in. Ciao. Bye-bye.
That's a good one.